Here's a new edition of the Basketball Network hypothetical NBA 2K simulation, and again we're coming with the what if. Today we'll be looking at the entire 21-22 NBA season, but an injury-free season. Obviously LeBron James struggled with injuries, Anthony Davis, and the Lakers, as we all know, had problems this season, but if they're at full strength, that might be a different story. Here we have, you see James Harden already with the 76ers, Joel Embiid, if all of them are healthy, that's big news. The Bucks had some injury issues during the season. The Bulls had a lot of issues during the season with Caruso and Ball, their primary defenders who were injured for a lot of games. Kawhi and Paul George. Kawhi missing the entire season for the Clippers. That was a big story. Miami had some troubles with injuries. Utah Jazz had some chemistry issues, which hopefully will not be reflected here, so we'll see how the season works out for them. Tim Hardaway Jr. missed significant playing time for Dallas. Here we have the Nets roster with a healthy Ben Simmons, no COVID restrictions for Kyrie, so we're expecting a lot from the Brooklyn Nets. See how the season will play out for them. Oh, the Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. missing the entire season. That's huge. That's their 2 and 3 guys on the team behind Nikola Jokic. The Pelicans, Zion with his injury. So now when we look at it, there's really been so many teams this season who struggled, who just had bad luck with their key players getting injured. The Suns had a great season. Their biggest injury was Dario Saric. Portland, obviously Lillard gone for almost half the season. Golden State Warriors were fortunate this season relatively with injuries, only Wiseman being out. Bradley Beal was out for part of the season. When we look at it, a lot of things have been important here, and now we can slowly but surely get into the season through the eyes, so to say, of the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh, we see the Lakers opening up with 2 losses to the Warriors and the Suns, then beating the Grizzlies, losing to the Spurs, OKC. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing going on right now for them. It just seems that the chemistry or whatever other issues the Lakers had during their actual regular season may have carried over to this NBA 2K simulation. We hope you enjoy this because we think that it is a great look at how the season could have been, and also it provides us with great, interesting content as we're waiting for the actual NBA Finals to unfold. And if you're anything like us, our entire team at Basketball Network, we're already getting super excited for the next season. The draft is just like a week away or a week and a half. So many great things in the NBA going on all the time, and here we are. The simulation has led us to the All-Star weekend, and we're moving up to the trade deadline. There will be no trades, but we will just take a snapshot and take a look at the standings. Whoa, the Grizzlies with a great season, 39-17. Utah number 2, so no chemistry issues there. Pelicans at the number 3 spot because now they have a healthy Zion and CJ McCollum. The Warriors doing good. Clippers, Suns. It's interesting to see that the Kings are almost at 500, and then where are the Nuggets? This is a surprising turn of events. And then the Lakers, not looking good for these teams, and the Blazers. I thought if they had their full roster healthy, it would look better, but it didn't. Things are pretty expected at the top of the East with the 76ers and the Nets on the top. Then we have the Hawks, Heat, Bucks, Celtics. Here it looks like we might be missing the Bulls because, again, as we said in the beginning, they had a lot of injuries throughout the season, and basically they might have overperformed there, but here they are underperforming. So I guess no fun for Chicago fans. And now we can move in to the simulation of the rest of the season. Again, looking through the eyes, so to say, of the Lakers. And again, we're seeing a lot of red L's. The team is not doing good. So Luka Doncic as the MVP, 36.8 points, 11.5 rebounds, 8.6 assists. Cade Cunningham expectedly Rookie of the Year, being the first pick. Ben Simmons, 6th Man of the Year. It looks like Steve Nash in NBA 2K made the adjustments. Giannis with the Defensive Player of the Year award. Tyrese Maxey as the Most Improved Player. Taylor Jenkins of the Grizzlies as Coach of the Year. Well, with a 59-23 records, that is well deserved. Great names we're seeing here. Here's the All-NBA first team: Luka, Harden, Giannis, LeBron, and Jokic. Here's the second team: Trae Young, Shea, Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid. Again, Jokic ahead of Embiid. That's interesting to see with the debate, the MVP debate. And the third team: Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, Julius Randle, Zion Williamson, Anthony Davis. And now we're moving forward to the All-Defensive first team: Paul George, Ben Simmons, Giannis, Thibault, and Rudy Gobert. All-Defensive second team: we have Drew, Lonzo Ball, Isaac, Kawhi, AD. And here it is. The playoffs are upon us, and of course, we'll be looking at all the teams, who made it, who didn't make it, who's ranked where. But first, we'll be looking at the play-in games. And first off, we can see that the Golden State Warriors made it out of their play-in matchup against the Spurs. DeJounte Murray had a great game, but so did Steph Curry, Kuminga, Poole, Wiseman, Wiggins, all in double figures. Michael Porter Jr. had a great game with 33 points. Luka Doncic also great, 31, 9, and 15. Look at those stats. They were amazing. But then the Spurs took care of business here against the Nuggets. We had Jamal Murray and DeJounte Murray as the top scorers for both teams. Out east, we had Cleveland making their way out of the play-in tournament. They beat the Pacers. Garland had a great game. Halliburton for the Pacers. Toronto against the Knicks, winning that one. And Toronto ended up being the second play-in team out east. And now we can get to the actual first round and simulate it, see what happens there. Memphis going past San Antonio, just barely, 7-game series. Same with Phoenix against the Clippers. Oh, that must have been a crazy matchup. Then New Orleans 4-2 against Sacramento. Utah taking care of business against Golden State 4-1. Philly beat Toronto 4-2. Brooklyn, oh, that must have been an awesome series. Celtics versus the Heat, 7-game series. Boston takes the next step to the next round against Atlanta, who pretty much handled Cleveland in a 5-game series, beating them 4-1. Now we're on to the next round, simulating it, and Memphis to the conference finals against the Pelicans, and Brooklyn against Boston. So Memphis took care of business easily against the Suns 4-1, but the Pelicans and the Jazz, it was a 7-game series. Donovan Mitchell, 34 points in Game 7. Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gobert. Let's see what the Pelicans did. Ingram expectedly 27. Zion 24. CJ 20. Now that's some great stuff from the Pelicans' young guns. And now let's take a look at the Nets-Sixers series. It wasn't a close one, but still a great matchup of great teams, you know, because of their histories and the trade they had for Simmons and Harden. So in Game 5, KD had a 30-piece. Let's see what Zion was doing against Memphis. And Ja, some great numbers from the young guys there. The matchup we've been waiting for, the finals between Memphis and Brooklyn. Grizzlies take Game 1. Ja Morant, 34, 6 and 7. Bane, 23 points. Triple J, 18 points. For the Nets, Kyrie with a 31, 3, 6. KD, only 14 points. On to the next game. Game 2 of the series. And the Grizzlies coming away with the 2-0 lead. Now that's not, you know, a done deal, but it's really interesting to see the Grizzlies ahead by, you know, 2-0. KD with 55 points in Game 2, and it still wasn't enough. The Nets are making a comeback probably. 2-1. Now more of a balanced effort. Kyrie 30 points. KD 20. Ja Morant 39. Anderson 20. We're seeing some great performances. And the Nets tie the series at 2. Kyrie 33 points. KD 25. Drummond 16. LaMarcus Aldridge 14 points. Nice vintage performance from him. Triple J 28 points. Ja Morant only 15. Still had 12 assists. But it looks like the Nets were able to put some clamps on Ja Morant as the leader of the Grizzlies. and hold him to only, 15 points. On to Game 5. Grizzlies pull away with Game 5. Let's see what happened here. Melton, 20 points. Anderson, 20. Kyrie, 35. KD, 33. But I guess it was a better balanced effort from the Grizzlies. And now on to Game 6. Well, the Grizzlies are pulling away with it a bit. But I guess the Nets are hanging in there. 67-60. Tie ball game. Tie ball game in the fourth quarter. And now it's getting interesting. Oh, the Nets are taking the lead and probably pulling away with it. Yes, this looks like a done deal, and it looks like we have ourselves a Game 7. Now that's what we want to see. And here's a tweet from Mike Trudell. KD Nets dominate Grizzlies from opening tip. Well, not necessarily from opening tip. There was times where the Grizzlies were in command, so to say. They had a 7-point lead after the first quarter. So things were looking great at one point for the Grizzlies, but they weren't able to capitalize on it. And now, as I said, we have a Game 7 on our hands. And let's see how this plays out. It's the Grizzlies had a better regular season record. They have home court advantage. But still, the Nets are hanging in there. Now they have a 1-point lead at the beginning of the third quarter. Ja Morant, 16 points, 2 assists. That's not looking good for the Grizzlies, but still, it's a close game. 8-point lead for the Nets, but now, this is close. 5-point game with 3 minutes left in the game. Remember, this is Game 7 of the NBA Finals in our simulation. This is, for everything, and it looks like the Nets are gonna take away everything. Here we can see the closing minutes of the Game 7 and the celebration that's going to happen for Brooklyn. Even though they're not playing at home, they're in Memphis. And KD, it's a foul, but it won't make any difference. There's 1 second left in the game. The Nets have a 7-point lead. And the fans from Brooklyn and their players, obviously, can start their celebrations. The Brooklyn Nets are your 2021-2022 NBA champions in this Basketball Network hypothetical NBA 2K simulation. Remember, this is a special simulation where there were no injuries and all players played all season long, including Kyrie, obviously, because even though he wasn't injured, he still wasn't playing because of vaccination protocols. And there it is. The Nets are starting their celebration. There's tears of joy. Players can't believe they pulled it off. But they're champions. Congratulations once again to the Brooklyn Nets. A great season for them, but also a great season for Memphis. A young team like that to make it to the finals with the best record in the league, to have the coach of the year. Unfortunately, they did not take advantage of their home court advantage. And here now we're tuning in to the watch party from Barclays Center, obviously from Brooklyn, where all the fans are. And now it's time for the champs to take over the trophy. Here's the commissioner, Adam Silver, coach Steve Nash, and all the players behind them celebrating. We see Seth Curry, Ben Simmons. And now it's time. It's time for the Larry O'Brien Trophy to be handed over to the Brooklyn Nets. And they deserved it. They went through some tough matchups in the playoffs and throughout the entire season. So a great job for them. And there's KD with the Finals MVP trophy. This was kind of expected because if you remember when we were looking at his stats throughout the series, we saw some great stuff from him. And here's Ja Morant also with some great games that he had. KD, 33 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Great stuff. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in and for watching and for all your support. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button. We have new videos coming out every single day. So stay tuned, and until next time.